What's up, everybody? You're watching Cannell Games, and we're here with another episode of Football Manager 2017. Been a bit of a break since the last episode. I've upgraded my PC, so hopefully it'll run a little bit better, loading those highlights and so on and so forth. Also been a little busy with the holidays, so hopefully everyone's enjoyed their Christmas, and we can get back to our lower league save in the 21st tier of English football. We've had a bit of not a bad run, I would say, since we left off with that disappointing 3-1 loss to Nutley. We lost in the Brian Hall Challenge Cup quarterfinal to Ardingly, which is, that's okay. We're out of 2 of the 4 cup competitions, but you can see we're into semifinals in the other 2. We drew 2 of our league games and then won the last one against Crawley. So let's quickly go through those. Against Dynamo Chicken Kiev in our 3rd matchup against this club. 4th matchup against this club this season. We drew 1-1. And we actually have had some issues. You can see Ryan Sam was in the lineup because Nathan Randall got injured in the cup game. So our leading striker was injured. He's actually going to be coming back in our game today, although from the bench. So we'll see how effective he is. But we struggled to score a little bit in those 2 games. He got hurt early on in the quarterfinal and then didn't feature in our league match. So I was actually a little bit worried. But then we seemed to come back together with a 4-1 win over West Hoathley in the Tester Challenge Cup quarterfinal. Ryan Hutchinson scored, Matthew Clark with a brace, and Joe Harrison scored as well. Not overly dominant performance, but we were far more clinical and effective with our chances, which is what you want to see. Against Ringmer, a pretty exciting match. It ended 5-3. Ryan Salmon made a triumphant return to the starting 11 with a hat trick. When Nathan Randall went down, neither Matthew Clark or Ryan Salmon are really that mold for a single striker up front, so I actually moved to a 4-4-2. And playing Matthew Clark with Ryan Salmon, you can see Matthew Clark didn't play overly well this game, but they've sort of been trading off good performances, and Ryan Salmon put in a great one in this matchup to send us to the semifinal of the Mid-Sussex Junior Cup for the 2nd consecutive season with another hat trick. Joe Harrison scored again, and Connor Martin, our right winger, put one in the back of the net as well. We then traveled to Ardingly, where we drew 2-2. Brett Walker and Connor Martin each with goals. Traded a lot of chances back and forth for these players. But you can see our front line, Matthew Clark and Ryan Salmon, just weren't all that great. And that's sort of the big downgrade from Nathan Randall, who was so consistent for so long. Just didn't really put in a good shift for us. Matthew Clark, he looks pretty good, but his mentals aren't overly strong. He's been okay. He doesn't have great finishing. He's more of a creative forward. So if people aren't finishing, he's not really piling up those assists. He sort of fits into that deep lying forward role. Following that, we did have a 3-1 win over Crawley United, which immediately resulted in their manager being sacked. So Ollie Hotchkiss scored a brace, and then Scott Quinn, in his first appearance of the season, Ryan Salmon was struggling yet again, so I brought on Scott Quinn, who hadn't played for us, 28-year-old, has 14 finishing though, not a whole lot else to write home about, but he got 1 chance and put it in the back of the net, so he's actually going to be featuring in our starting 11 today. Our matchup today is against Heath Rangers. If we take a look at the table, we are right behind Heath Rangers. We're sitting in 4th place right now, but we do have some games in hand. We have 2 in hand against Barcombe, 1 in hand against Nutley, and then obviously 1 against Heath Rangers. So a win could see us into 3rd place with a game in hand, and nipping at the heels of Barcombe and Nutley. And if we look at our schedule, this could go right down to the wire. We only have 4 games left after today's match. Cuckfield Development, Handcross Village, and then Nutley and Barcombe to end the season. So 2 very massive fixtures to end the season, which will determine whether or not we can get promoted for a 2nd consecutive season. We also have a couple semi-final cup appearances to work in. So depending on how this goes moving forward, we may look at one of our cup finals and then the end of the league, or if we lose both of these, we may just jump right to and have sort of a double header to end the season and see if we do, in fact, get promoted. So looking at the club today, actually there's one thing I want to show you is our new transfer, because of course I bring in a new transfer, is Jack Humphrey, and he's right now our 3rd choice center back, but you can see 13 marking, 13 tackling, decent pace, decent strength. A lot of the time we were getting cut up by fast strikers. Our center backs aren't all that quick. Jack Humphrey's okay. He's only featured once for us off the bench, wasn't overly strong, but he's still finding his form. I signed him as a free agent. He wasn't, he'd been released by Gisley or something. So he was a free transfer, though, so he hadn't played in quite a bit, so we have to get him back to match fitness before he'll feature. But he has strong defensive qualities, decent in the air, and decent physicals, so hopefully he'll be useful for us moving forward. Our starting 11, not a whole lot of changes. We have Lamplau, Hutchison, Jeffs, Fixter on the back line, Niall Mayer as our goalkeeper. Our midfield consists of Joe Harrison, Ollie Hotchkiss, Reese Hayes, and Connor Martin. Reese Hayes and Brett Walker have sort of been going back and forth as that deep-lying playmaker role. And then Jack Lynch and Hotchkiss in the sort of central midfielder, ball-winning midfielder role. Up front, Scott Quinn is going to be getting his first start of the season as a poacher. And then we're actually going to move, even though he's more comfortable as a deep-lying playmaker, Matthew Clark. He has pretty good skills, sort of fills out all of his higher skills, I guess, except for determination. He's just really well-roundedly mediocre, and you can see that from here, right? He's just a very well-rounded and mediocre striker. But as a deep-lying forward, he wasn't really getting a whole lot done, so maybe if we put him out as an advanced forward, he may be a little bit further up the pitch and be able to contribute a little bit more. If they're struggling, whoever's struggling the most, I do have Nathan Randall off the bench to bring him in. Tamara Clayton out. You can see he has 13 appearances this season, most of them off the bench. Brett Walker, Jack Humphrey, and then Jack Lynch. The Carl Stone project has ended. You can see he shouldn't be very good, and he's begun to struggle a little bit lately, and we don't really have the time for him to find his form, so Joe Lamplau is back into a starting left-back role, which is one of the things that prompted me to sign Humphrey in the first place, because Lamplau was sort of our backup left-back and backup center-back, but with him taking our starting left-back role, we sort of needed someone in the middle, and we may have to sort of tinker and move people out of position if we do have any issues, but I don't see any of that happening. Today, like I said, 4-4-2, standard, flexible, with play wider, close down more, and play to a high tempo, and we'll see how that goes today in this very large fixture against Heath Rangers. Apparently we lost back to Heath Rangers. We've had such a delay, I've actually forgotten a lot of what's happened recently, so hopefully I can refresh my memory. So, here we go to start. Heath Rangers will start with the ball, and hopefully we can find some early chances and get ahead, although we have had a bad habit this season of giving away leads. Both of our previous draws, the 1-1 and the 2-2, if I remember correctly, again, it was several days ago that we last played, both of those draws were come from behind. We gave away the lead, not necessarily late, not in extra time or added time by any means, and here's a chance for them, Niall Mayer with a good save. But neither of them were in the first half. Like, we gave away second half leads in both of those matchups, so we'd like to avoid that today. Mayer plays that away. I don't know what Scott Quinn was doing. Wasn't doing a whole lot there. The only reason Nathan Randall isn't starting this game is because the physio suggested that he only plays 45 minutes today, so we'll probably bring him on at halftime, unless Scott Quinn or Matthew Clark are really surprising me. It'll probably be Scott Quinn, if I'm being entirely honest. He just looks lazy. Puts it over the bar. We're giving away some chances early and giving away some possession. I may switch to a counter-attacking set in a little bit. Hotchkiss puts it over. But we don't really have that pace. We don't have... Well, Ryan Salmon's not the player that he once was. Doesn't really have the pace he once had. And Nathan Randall's on the bench, so we don't really have a whole lot of pace up front. Matthew Clark's not terrible, but he's certainly not a speed demon by any stretch of the imagination. If I remember correctly, his pace is only 10. So Lamplau collects the ball at the back, look to play it forward, just gives it away right in the middle to Harrop, and we have another attack from Heath Rangers. Staunton plays it into Harrop, Harrop over to Broadhurst to Harrop. Holding possession here back to Kean, who's on a yellow right now. Hayes dispossesses him, and we can move forward on the attack. Scott Quinn to Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss plays it out wide, finds Martin in a lot of space, into Clark. Clark puts it in the top corner, and that's why we put him in a more advanced position. As a deep lying forward, he would have been sucked back a little bit further, and maybe would not have been in that position to sort of jump in that counterattack. So great play by Hotchkiss to win the ball forward, or Reese Hayes to win the ball, Hotchkiss to play it forward, and then Martin to play a good pass into Matthew Clark, who makes no mistake, and puts it into the top corner. So let's check this out in 3D. Good team goal, that good turnover, good defensive play there. Does he hit this first time? He does. Top of the box, first time, right into the side of the net there. Not too many goalies in this league are going to save that. Well struck. And we're up 1-0, the start that we wanted. Lamplau, can we get another here? And that's just a mess. Fullwood with the own goal, and that puts us 2 clear, approaching halftime. Let's see what happened here. Just plays it in. It's not a very good cross, and I don't know what Fullwood's doing there. Maybe the goalkeeper didn't call for it. I don't know, but that shouldn't happen. Not under pressure. Should be an easy pickup for the goalkeeper, but I'm not going to be complaining. We're up 2-0. So Mayer plays it forward. Scott Quinn, can he get on the end of that? He flicks it forward. No one there. And Heath Rangers can recycle possession and move forward. Harrison cuts it out into the Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss gets dispossessed by Kean. Kean up to Hards. Hards plays it forward to Staunton. Staunton's in one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and that's an easy finish for him. Poor giveaway by Hotchkiss, but everyone else needs to do some work. Like a nice through ball like that, and then Staunton just outpaces Jeffs there. A little bit of an awkward attempt at a save from Mayer, but when the striker's in alone on goal, if the goalie manages to save it, you just have to be excited about that. You don't expect them to save those. Guard against complacency. Yeah, of course you're stressed. We just gave away a goal. And they're stressed. Hotchkiss and Hayes are stressed. So our center midfielders are stressed. Give them a couple minutes, and then I'm going to bring on... I'll probably bring on Jack Lynch, I think. Drop him back as a ball winner, and bring on Nathan Randall. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to bring on Nathan Randall as a poacher. We're going to bring on Jack Lynch, and then drop him back as a ball winner on a defensive setting, just to give us a little bit of extra coverage, sitting back in front of our defensive line, hopefully. And then maybe, depending on how this progresses, I may bring in Brett Walker. But I don't like making 3-man subs all that often. It can sometimes upset the captain, or it seems to. Like, I don't actually know if it does, but it sometimes just feels, recency bias or whatever. But your players tend to play worse, I guess, if you make a 3-man substitution all at once. So Heath Rangers with the ball again. Can Lamplow get in there? Can't play it forward to Randall. Staunton over. Fixter marks him. Forces him to play it back into the center of the park there. Herbert plays out onto the wing to Cox. Cox has a lot of space to bring in across here. Puts it in the top of the box. Blocked and falls right back to Harrop. So Jeffs made the first block, which was good. But it fell right back to him, and Mayer had already sort of moved to the wrong side. Just an empty net. We're going to go counter. I know we need to score, but we also need to not lose. A tie isn't the end of the world. It certainly makes things tough for us. 8 points out with 4 games to go. Yeah, that's almost getting in the insurmountable territory here. See how this goes. Jeffs plays it forward. Randall gets some pace on it. He's got some space. Can he make a move? He does. He skips by him. He's in on goal. In the short side of the post, and our savior is back. First game back from his lengthy injury. They said only play him 45 minutes. I'm going to give him about 40 today. And he rewards me. Look at that little skip to get past him. Going in on net. The defender plays the pass as he should, and he beats him short side. The goalkeeper would obviously want to do better, but Nathan Randall makes no mistake. He's been quality all season, and we are ahead 3-2 with just under 15 minutes to go. Their striker's been injured. We have 10 minutes to go. We're going to bring in Walker. He's a little more comfortable defensively. Reese Hayes looks stressed anyway. You don't want him stressed with a 1-goal lead. Jack Lynch plays it well over. It's a poor free kick. We don't really have a key free kick taker anymore. Ollie Hotchkiss has scored a couple for us this season, but no one like Mick Dodds, who was pounding him in all last season. So this puts us into third place if we can hold on here. Jack Lynch plays it into the middle. Randall over to Lamplow. Lamplow in the box, gets dispossessed. Can Fixter outpace his man? Hards wins the ball. He's in on goal. Good save by Mayer. That was a dicey situation right there for us. We have to win this corner off. Mara collects that. We have 2 minutes to play, and we should be able to hold on for victory here. I hope. I would hope. Please, come on. We need these points. Could be one more attack here for Heath Rangers. Fixter plays it into the middle. Brett Walker. He's got some space. Plays it over to Connor Martin, who has to move to run at the defender. Will he be able to skip by? Morris dispossesses him. Played down the line. Jenkins outpaces Fixter. He could whip a corner a cross into the box, rather, but wins a corner instead. Fixter blocks it. This could be our last chance to defend. And it's headed away. Jack Lynch moves forward, plays it up to Nathan Randall. He has one man to beat, and he gets dispossessed. Logan Jeffs on it, plays it out for a throw. Good safe play there, but Heath Rangers does have some time left. They give it away, though. Fixter plays it forward to Clark. Could this... Nope. Highlight ends. I was hoping we would get a chance there. But we're coming up on full time here. Jack Lynch plays it into the box. Headed away for a throw. Blow the whistle. And there's the whistle. We win 3-2 to move into third place with a game in hand. We got what we wanted. So you can see here, we still have one game in hand on Barcombe. Nutley beat Handcross Village, so they move 9 points ahead of us with a game in hand. We'll be very hard pressed to catch them. Although they're still undefeated, we do have one matchup against them, so we could set the record straight after that 3-1 defeat, and then we do play Barcombe as well. So things aren't, I won't say they're looking great for us by any means, but certainly within striking distance, I would hope. So that will just about do it for today's episode. I think I want to try and keep them short. We'll jump through these semifinals, and hopefully we'll get one or maybe even 2 Final Cup appearances. And if we make it to any of the finals, I will definitely provide live commentaries for those matchups. But right now, obviously, our main focus has to be the league. We have 4 matches left. Cuckfield and Handcross Village aren't really threatening us, but we certainly don't want to drop points to either of them. We did beat Cuckfield earlier this season 4-0. We beat Handcross Village 4-1, so we should hopefully be able to take care of business once again. But nothing is guaranteed in this lower league. Our scoring could all of a sudden just disappear. We don't have a lot of coverage, so an injury could really set us into some trouble. So we really need to avoid that. But we do have Nathan Randall back, which is great to see. He now has 9 goals on the season. Puts him into a tie with James Hards and Alistair Chuddy. And he leads the league in terms of average rating. So we do have our star player back. We do have 4 games left to make up a 6-point disadvantage. So, again, cautiously optimistic, but it's certainly going to be right down to the wire for us. So if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you'd like to see moving forward. And I will speak to you next time.